Okay, then let us get the first name and last name. So C, which is from the customer table, C dot first name. So you can see that it is table name or the table alias. The table alias for customer is C. So the table or the table alias, C dot the column name, which is first name, comma, C dot last name. What again do we need? We need the address. Let's go to the address table. Or let's get their email as well. C dot email. So what again do we need? We need the address of the customer, isn't it? Let's get the address and the district. Now the address can be found on the address table, which is alias A. I'll say A dot address, comma, A dot district, comma. So I've gotten the address and the district. Let us get the phone number of the customer. What do you think? It would be nice to have their phone number. Their phone number is found on the what is it called? On the city table. Okay, I don't know why they put it on the city. Is it the city table? Sorry, on the address table, rather. On the address table. So I will say A dot phone, comma. So I need to get their city as well. Okay, let's get the city. Now the city can be found on the city table. So I will say city, the alias is CI dot city, comma, and let's get the country as well. The country is on the country table and the alias is CO. So I will say CO dot country. So I'm getting the customer ID, first name, last name, email, address, district, phone number, city, country, and let us get the payment, the amount. I didn't forget that. Let's get the amount that they paid as well. So in getting the amount, let's put it here. P dot amount before the remaining details. Okay, so let's run this. Now it gives me just the columns I need. So let's see. Customer ID. So this amount was by Peter Menard. We have his email, we have his address, the district, the city, the country. Nice. And we have his phone number. We can easily call him, right? But this is giving us the individual record on the payment table. Now you can see how it is now going up. We're going deeper into this. I've taught you how to join the table. And I've taught you how to select individual column from each table. Isn't it? So now, if I want to get the total that each customer have paid, in total, what is the amount that each one of them have paid in total? All right. It means I'm going to be summing the amount column. Isn't it? I'm going to be summing the amount column. So what I will do is very, very simple. Okay, what I will do is very, very simple. So I'll simply tell it. First and foremost, watch something. Let me remove this P amount first. Remove the amount. So the amount is very important because we'll sum it later. So we remove the amount column because we're going to sum it. Let us first and foremost group this data because this is from the payment table. Let's group it using the group by function. So if I want to use the group by function, if I say group by, and I say, okay, let us group by customer ID. Watch something. If I say group by P dot customer ID, and then I run this, you see that it gives me an error. that this column must be used in the group by clause or in an aggregate function. So any column you are not using in an aggregate function, in your select statement, that column must appear in the group by statement. Now, since all these columns will not be used in an aggregate function, all of them must appear in the group by statement as well. So in appearing in the group by statement, if I run this now, you see that it has grouped each customer. It has grouped them now. You can see how dynamic this is now. Customer, first name, last name, email, address, district, customer, city, blah, blah, blah. Isn't it? Now, let us now finally add the amount column. Some amounts. When I run this now, you can see. Now, starting from customer ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what is this total amount they paid? This is the sum of the amounts they paid in total. Okay, but it still looks like this thing is much. The columns are much, isn't it? It still looks like the columns are much. How can we make this look better? Okay, so I've taught you join. Okay, now for inner join, I said you can easily use join. For full outer join, it's the same thing. The only difference is instead of join, you will say full outer or full outer join. That's just it. Okay, that's just it. You will see that even using full outer here, if I run it, look at something. You see that it still worked, successfully run, isn't it? That's just the difference. So the difference is in the rows that it returns. Okay, or your syntax is the same. So now, after learning join, learning how to select each column or different columns from each table. Okay, now how can we fine-tune the query? Okay, because this is still looking much to me. How can I fine-tune this? One thing I can do is I can join these two columns, first name and last name. Isn't it? Join these two columns, then join the address column, address, district, city, country, and call it just address. Then we'll get the phone number and then the sum of the amounts. So let's work on that. Okay, so get the customer ID first. Now I'll move into a new line. I'll press my tab key because I want to make my query clean this time around. Okay, concatenate the first name and the last name. How do you do that? Concatenate, open bracket, first name, comma, I put space in single quotes, comma, then last name, and then I'll close the bracket. As in double quotes, because I want to give a column name now. Full name. Then comma, I'll press enter, go to next line. Get the email, press enter to go to the next line. And I want to concatenate these 4 items now. So first, let me remove the phone here and put it at the end. And then concatenate these 4 items. So concatenate, open bracket, the address first, comma, then in single quotes, put a comma. Then the district, comma, then in single quotes, put a comma. Okay, so don't let this confuse you. After the address, you should put a comma before the district, then comma, then a comma. This comma in single quotes is what it is going to put in the cell. This comma that is not in single quotes, the black one, is what you are using to separate the values in the concatenate function. Okay, so we've been fed milk for a long time. This is SQL, all right, and you really need to put your mind to it and carefully study it so as not to miss it. All right, so the city, comma, then another comma in single quotes, comma, and then finally the country, and I'll close brackets. And I'll call this as address. Then the phone, and then some amount as total payments. Okay, so you can see. So all the queries we've been writing before is just to let you know that we've been playing. Okay, so this is how queries. Now, at times, yes, you might not need much. Your queries might not be more than, say, 3 or 4 lines. Okay, but in real analysis, okay, this is how your query usually looks like. All right, it just depends on what is asked of you. So if I run this now watch, look at something again. If I run this, you can see it tells me concatenate does not exist. Really? Let me see. Is it concat? Let me try concat. This SQL dialects. Good. All right. So it's concat. All right. Now, do you see that I am now on 2 columns? Very specific. The customer ID, the full name of the customer, the email address of the customer, then the customer address. Do you see that? 191 Hanoi Way, Nagasaki, Sasebo, Japan. This one is Joylet Street, something, Greece. Do you see? And if you check very well, you see that they're separated by commas. Now, those commas I put in single quotes is what caused it. Now, after each comma, there should be a space. So I can easily go back to the commas in single quotes and put a space. So, comma, space, comma, space, comma, space. So if I run it again, do you see that now? You see that now there's space, comma, space. Do you see that? It looks better now. So I have the home address, city, state, and then country. Home address, district, the city, and then the country. Do you see that? Okay. So, and I have the total payment for each customer. So now, unlike before that we're just getting customer ID and total payment, now we have a more insightful analysis. I can easily see that, oh, wow. So Mary Smith, I think she was here last week. I remember her. So in total, she has paid our company $114 in renting movies. Okay. So if there's now a condition that, okay, get only the customers that have paid above $180 in total. You don't visualize in SQL. I already mentioned that. How many times do you want me to say this? Your visualization is in Power BI or Excel. Thank you very much. So you now go ahead and finally do what? You say having some amount greater than 180. So if I run this now, beautiful. So only 6 customers have paid above $180 in total. Okay, do you see that? Now, this is a what is it called? This is a task given to me by my head of department. So he said, Malik, get us the list of customers that have, in total paid above $180 in renting movie. Okay, we would like to appreciate them for the Christmas period, or we would like to appreciate them for the New Year period. We'd like to send them what is it called, Christmas cards, and also send them email to giving them discounts to rent more movies. Please, can you get that information for us? You can see the entire query I wrote just to get this required piece of information. So I have their address. They can send them what is it called, packages or whatever they need to. I have the phone. They can call them to greet them. All right. I have the email. They can send them personalized emails. I have their name. When they're addressing the email, they can say, hey, Rhonda Kennedy, or hey, Clara Shaw, or hey, Eleanor Hunt. Okay. And then you have the total payment as well. Do you see that? Okay. So you can see how useful the joins are. You can see how useful the joins are. So you need to know how to join tables. Okay, so let's look at one more what's it called? One more example. Okay, one that does not need so much like this. Get the title of the movies and their categories. Get the title of the movies and their categories. So how do I do that? How many tables do I need? At first, I might feel I need just 2 tables, the movie table or the film table, and then the category table, isn't it? So if I say let's do that, select all from film, and I run that. So I have everything on the film table. And one thing I quickly see is there's nothing relating to category here. Nothing like category ID. What's happening? Okay. I go, let's see, select asterisk from, I have category table. Category. I run this. I have the category ID and the name. But category ID is not on film table. Film ID is not on category table. Hey, how do I join? Now I quickly see that I have a table called film category. Okay. Select asterisk from film category. Wow. So on this table, I have the film ID and the category ID. So what it means now is that I can join the film table to the film category table using the film ID. Then I will join the category table to the film category table using the category ID. That way, I can get all the data I need. And I get to work. Select asterisk from film. And I'll say join film category. On which column? Film ID to film ID, isn't it? So let my film be F and my film category be FC. So join on what? F dot film ID equals FC dot film ID. Then I'll go ahead and join again. Join to which table now? Category table. Category. And let's give it alias C. I'm joining the film category to the category now. Using which ID? Category ID. I'll say film category, which is FC dot category ID equals C dot category ID. So when I run this, I can see that I have the title of the movies and I have the category now. Finally, beautiful, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and now select the necessary columns. So from the film table, which is F, get the title. So F dot title, comma. Then from the category table, which is C, get the category. C dot category. Or the category is under the column name. So I'll say C dot name. So when I run this, you see that I have the title of the movie and the category. So if I ask you a question that how many documentary movies do we have? How many documentary movies do we have? That's the question I ask you. If you come and do select asterisk from category and you get all the categories, and it's how many? 16 categories. This is not giving you detail about the film. You need to join the film table to the category table in order to get the films and the category. So now I have 1,000 films and their categories. So now, how many documentary movies or how many horror movies do I have? I can now group by. I will now go ahead and group by what? I will now group by the name. Okay? I'll say group by C dot name.
Bro, that money.
And I want to count what? I want to count how many titles, how many movies. So I will now do what? I will delete this. And I will simply say count F dot title. So when I run this, do you see that? So you can see how analysis is coming in. The question they simply ask you is, how many documentary movies do we have? We have 68. Okay. If the question is, how many sports movies do we have? We have 74. But the question is, how many children movies? We have 60. Okay. All right. So what if they say, how many okay, so they want you to just return only documentary. Only documentary. What will you do? You need to include a where clause. Now your where clause will come after your joining or your joining. So you will say where C dot name equal documentary. And then you run it. So you see, it only returns documentary. Okay. What if you want to see how many documentary movies that are PG-13 or that are PG? Okay. So I will include and the rating column. Remember, the film table had rating. I'll say F dot rating is equal to PG. So if I run this, that it's reduced from 68 to 16. So I have only 16 documents as well. So I have just 16 documentary movies that are rated PG, meaning parental guidance is needed. Okay, what if that I want to see that the number that are rated R? Let's run it. 13. Do you see that? So nobody will tell you join this table to this table or join that table to that table. You can see how the question came. This one just asked, okay, so we want to send out packages, email, we want to call our customers, for the customers that have spent in total above $180. Get us their details. Simple. See, nobody will tell you join this table to this table. Put this query like this. You are the one that would now need to think, how can you answer that question? This one said, get us, how many documentary movies do we have that are rated R? That's all he asked for. How many documentary movies do we have that are rated R? You see how I answer that question? I need to count how many documentary movies that we have, meaning I need to get the movies and their categories. Then I will group by the category and I will count the movies. So I will now include a condition that it should be rated R and it is also documentary. You need to be able to think. Okay, SQL is not Power BI drag and drop. Power BI, you can do trial and error, drag and drop, because it will just tell you sum of sales by product category. Wow, you have an insight from that because you are simply dragging and dropping. Where you need to think is in the DAX measures, isn't it? But here, at every point, you need to think. If you cannot think critically, you will find SQL hard to comprehend. You will find SQL hard to comprehend. See how we answer this now, isn't it? If I say, let us see, what is the total payment generated by each staff? What is the total payment generated by each staff? How do you answer that? You need to get the payments and the staff. So select all from payments. Okay. Now on the payments table, I have what? I have the staff ID, isn't it? So I can easily join to the staff table. Join staff S and join payments P, isn't it? On P dot staff ID equals S dot staff ID. So if I run this, it should join the two tables. Do you see that? So I have the name of the staff and their remaining details. You can see the address of the staff, the email, the username, even their password. Do you see that? So I go ahead and simply come here and I say, what's it called now? Okay, let's get just the staff ID, P dot staff ID, comma, then the name, S dot first name. So from the staff column or from the staff table, get the first name, S dot last name, and get the amount, or get the sum of the amounts, sum amounts, And then finally, group by these 3 columns that are not aggregating. So I'll say group by these 3 columns. So when I run it, so you see that. So this is the amount they have generated in total up to date. All right. So so this brings us practically to an end of our entire program. All right. But like I said, the next class will be a class for me to ask you questions. I'm still thinking if I'm going to do a mini, what's it called, assessment, because I've not given any SQL assignment at all. I'm not sure I would still give anyone. From the table after you join, how will you know which table they are from? As long as you know the column name. As long as you know the column name. First name. Did you see anything like first name on the payment table? No. So it's from the staff table. But I'm joining to the staff. Okay. As long as you know the column name, you know where they are from. So staff ID appears on both tables. But since I use P, select from this payment table. So I use S, select from the staff table. But it's the same thing. It doesn't matter which one. Because column appears on both tables. All right. Do we need to specify which table we are getting sum of amount from? You don't need to, actually. All right. But if you specify it, it works as well. So if I put P dot amount here, if I put P dot amount, it still works. Okay. Since it only appears on one table, you see that it still works. All right. So at what point is data from SQL connected to Power BI? Data from SQL is connected to Power BI when you create that connection yourself. Okay. On your Power BI, you get data from a PostgreSQL database. You input in the credentials, and then it gets connected. So, like I said, let me see if I would organize a short test for that class, which is on Saturday. Not sure how it will go though, but you would receive an SQL project after, definitely. An SQL project after. So, I think this program has been very insightful, isn't it? Has been very insightful. So the only thing I can do is to plead with you to not make our efforts be in vain by putting in more practice after and after. Since there's no visualization on SQL, how do we share the results to management? So like I said, it is not every analysis you do that comes with visualization. But if you are sharing with management and you want to share with visualization, okay, you want to add visualization to it, you've gotten this detail. If you don't want to connect it to your Power BI account, you can simply, to your Power BI desktop. Connecting to Power BI desktop is simple and straightforward. If you check YouTube, how to connect Power BI to PostgreSQL database, you'll see videos on it. Especially this person, Olariwaju Oyiboke, there's a video on it. Quite straightforward. If you check YouTube, you'll see that. If you don't want to connect with Power BI to visualize, you can simply analyze, get your detail. If this is what you want to visualize, the first name, the name, and the amount, you simply download it, save results to file, you save it as an Excel file, and then you do a visualization, copy the visualization to PowerPoint, and you are done. Okay. So does that mean we could just connect DVD rental data and do all this? Yes, All right, so yes, you can connect this DVD rental database to Power BI. All right, you can do that. It's as simple as connecting Power BI to a PostgreSQL database. Just put in the credentials and it gets connected. And it's even easier since it's what's it called? It's on your system. The database is local to your system. So many of this research would help you. Whatever help you need, like I usually say, YouTube is your best bet. YouTube is your best bet. I think when I learned how to connect Power BI to PostgreSQL, I think it was also on YouTube I saw it. I had a task at that time that I needed to, and I just made use of YouTube. There was also Olariwaju Iboke, and I think he made use of the Pagila database. The Pagila database is the same thing as what was it called? The DVD rental database. The DVD rental is just like a sample from it. Just like a sample from it, actually. So I want to share us the attendance. If I share us the attendance, some people will just fail and leave the class. So let me share this information quickly on your video testimonial. On your video testimonial.